I want you guys to take a look at two articles. Now, I made a video in the past regarding Donald Trump and his um I'm gonna say cut when it comes to food stamps. And to this day, I still have so many black females, and to my surprise, many black males that are still commenting and attacking me personally because of the article I posted in regards to Donald Trump cutting food stamps. And I said it's a good idea. All right. Now, I'm not really, I wasn't going to say I wasn't really going to get on the black females, but I also have to talk to the black dudes because black dudes now are strongly attacking me. Some have said I deserve to die. Of course, I had many say that I was a coon. I had some say I was Uncle Tom. I had some that would say crazy things like, okay, when the white man start killing you, or some nonsense like that. Or because of the fact that the insecurity level has risen, has skyrocketed because of the fear of losing their security blanket, food stamps, government assistance, welfare. Black folk have become so dependent upon the system, and now that their foundation is about to be shaken, they're crying and complaining. They're crying and complaining like those YouTubers that got so used to YouTube's money and had taken YouTube as a full-time job. And then when YouTube took his money back or cut a lot of the funding or dollars or whatever, they took away their ads, then they cried. But a lot of those welfare recipients laughed at, made fun of, and made videos about these YouTubers that were crying because of the fact that they lost ad revenue. So now the tables are turned. And you have these welfare recipients now crying and lashing out. And the thing that I find really interesting is the number of black females that still refuse to take responsibility for themselves. They still refuse to look at the reality of things. I've heard so many black females would say, what they're really doing is they're trying to pull all these black men out and make them responsible for their children. But these are many of the same black females that were saying, I don't need a man, and that I can do it all by myself, and that I'm independent. She was independent, or felt she was independent, when she felt secure in the food stamp line, on welfare, government assistance. That was her security. Black females ignored the warning, the message a long time ago when we were saying, keep your legs closed, stop having so many children out of wedlock. They have multiple baby daddies, and a lot of the so-called baby daddies are incarcerated. So these black females go visit these incarcerated bums, drug dealers, gangbangers, or what have you. And they would sex these prisoners, these inmates, and get pregnant by these criminals that's locked up. And then depend upon the system to take care of those kids. She refused to take advantage of the free birth control. But she had a plan. She had a business plan in mind. And that's one thing I'll say about many black females. They're smart, or they thought they were smart when it comes to business. But the business I'm referring to is them pimping out their children to the system, selling their children into slavery, mental slavery, being a career welfare recipient, generational welfare recipient, because they would teach their daughters and even their sons to get on welfare. And they use these babies, these illegitimate babies, to collect money, because their defense is, and they always use the same defense, well, it's really to benefit the children, because why would you allow a child to starve? How could the government just sit back and let these children, these little innocent children, which many are going to grow up in the system, incarcerated, or maybe death? You're going to let these poor innocent children suffer, but yet they really don't care about those children. I find that to be quite interesting. And they use those children not only to collect public assistance, but to be able to dangle those children over that man, that baby daddy, whenever she gets mad at him. Threaten to take him to child support. And if she have him on child support, she will threaten to increase the child support. She will keep that man in court to get as much money as she can from him. And she will braggadociously say, be a man, step up to the plate and take care of your kids. When in reality, she had not stepped up to the plate, and she does not take care of her children. She depends upon the system and that man to take care of the kids that she knew she could not afford when she laid down and opened her legs. And she would attack those that say, protect yourself, use birth control. She refused to do that, knowing that she cannot afford them. But she had a business plan. The business plan was that the state, the government, would take care of those kids. So now you hear many black females and black males complaining about Trump's food stamp reform. But I agree with Trump's food stamp reform, because it would hopefully force a lot of these lazy, good-for-nothing bums. And I'm not just talking about black men, but I'm talking about black females that are good-for-nothing bums that do nothing all day but take advantage of the system. You don't put nothing into the pot, but you're always ready to take something out. Now, I'm not going to post an article regarding this because I'm sure many of you already know about it. Or better yet, I will post this article that you see on the screen. And I'm not really going to read it because I just want them to look at the food. See, many of y'all are used to going to the grocery store and getting carts and carts of junk food. I don't really see any vegetables and green vegetables or fruit or whatever. I don't never see that. I don't see anything really healthy. Just a lot of junk food. And it's gotten so bad that black females didn't really need that food stamp because all they did was sell their food stamp. You don't realize or I cannot tell you the number of black females that have contacted me on Facebook asking me if I want to buy some food stamps. And many times they just get a lecture from me. They would get a lecture. Well, don't you have children? Don't your children need to eat? Well, I have enough. So you could sell your food stamps, or you would take that WIC card or EBT card and go to ATM at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning to get the money out so you can buy your beer and your weed and your cigarettes, or do whatever you feel you need to do with that money other than support your child. So many black females really don't need that. They're just milking the system. And now you have so many black females that's upset. Now, no, I'm going to say I disagree. Maybe in a way that they're going to pull black men out. They're going to make them responsible and accountable. But yet, at the same time, you are being made accountable. You are being put in a position where you have to get a job. You have to go out and get a job. Finally, you have to go out and get a job. You just can't sit home all day and make babies and you use those babies as a crutch or an excuse to get more money from the government. The more kids you have, the more money they give you, because it's the poor, innocent children that they're letting. Notice, the blame is always put on someone else other than themselves. They have the babies. They do nothing to try to prevent themselves from getting pregnant, knowing that they can't support these kids, but yet they put the blame on the man and they put the blame on the government that refused to give them the money they need to take care of the kids they laid down, had fun, and made. And then when tax time come around, they get $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, even borrow somebody else's kids. Let me use your kids on my taxes and I'll give you a portion of the money. Scheming. But yet they got the audacity to be mad at Trump because he wants to make you accountable. Food stamps, Trump's food stamp reform would close the trap of dependency. Too many black folk dependent on the system. The same system that many black folk talk about, always talking about the white man. And death to the white man and destruction of the white man. And you call the white man out of his name, but yet you get mad when the white man decides to take back his money. See, this is where you have the opportunity now to not depend upon the system or depend upon the white man. This is your opportunity to do for yourself. If you don't have any skills, go back to school. And there's jobs out there that really don't require any skills. There's a lot of hotels out there that's looking for people to clean, to take care of those rooms, maintenance, janitor, whatever you call it, housekeeping. There's housekeeping jobs out there. Burger King, McDonald's. Maybe you're too proud to do that. I recall this one black female was always begging for money. Every time I see her, she's begging for money. Calling people, begging them on the phone for money. Every time you talk to her, how you doing? I'm just trying to get this money. I'm thinking. That's setting you up to ask her, what's on your mind? What are you thinking about? Just money. How to get this money. And she's willing to do anything for money other than getting a job. And she's always needing money to go on a job interview. I'm going to see about this job. Well, why don't you walk down there? I would not walk. Black females feel that you will not catch them walking. Laziness. But yet they're independent. Don't have no car, don't have no money for the bus. But you're so independent that you can't walk, that you need to depend upon somebody to give you a ride or give you money to get a ride. And then you have those out there that's too proud to catch the bus. You have no money, you have no car, but you're too proud to catch the bus. And you're too proud to walk. So you want to depend upon somebody to take you there. And then you want to give them $2 for gas. And get mad when they tell you $5. Why are you so expensive? Well, you need to catch the bus. Right? So this is one article. And I'm going to post this article on the bottom. And you guys can feedback. Tell me what you think. But it's an article, right? Gives you a little bit more information on it, right? The other article that I want to talk about, because you got so many black females that are saying like, oh, that's their way of pulling black men out to make them do their job. All right, really? Let me show you what else they're doing. Now, this is starting in Illinois. And I'm sure that this is going to catch fire and it's going to spread throughout this country. New Illinois child support law taking effect in 2017. Under present law, child support is based on the net income of the child support payer, the man. It is 20% of one child, 28% for two, 32% for three, and 40% for four. All right? Net income is defined in 750 ILCs 505 as gross income minus certain specified deductions. One of the factors is not the amount of parenting time that each parent has with the child. However, there are a few Illinois appellate court opinions that say that parenting time may be considered. In other words, this is where it's forcing guys to now spend time with their kids. Because the more you spend time with your children and spend your own money on your children, the less you have to pay for child support. But the less time that these deadbeat dudes spend with their kids, the more child support you will be paying. But at the same time, the woman is also responsible for child support payments. And they're going to even change the way the child support money is distributed. Okay? In the fall of 2016, the Illinois legislature passed and the governor assigned a new statute that completely changes the way child support is calculated in Illinois. The new law takes effect July 1st, 2017. The law eliminates the former percentage and creates what is called the income shared approach. Shared approach. In other words, the female and the male will have child support obligations. That will keep you from going back and forth to court to get more of that man's money. That would keep you from having to say, well, I need daycare, the child need to go to school, the child need all these special treatments that you want to put on the father. And that would also keep you from saying, you can't see my child this weekend because I don't like the woman that comes over your house. You got another woman, so because you got another woman, I don't want her around my child. Although you want him to pay support, you're constantly calling the child yours. Not yours, but yours. Okay? So the law, what was that? Okay. To calculate the child support based upon the parents' combined adjusted net income estimate to have been allocated to the child if the parent and children are living in the exact or in an intact household. Okay. The Illinois Department of Health Care and Family Services is to adopt rules establishing child support guidelines, which include worksheets for calculating the child support and a table to show the percentage of the combined net income the parenting living in the same household in this state ordinarily spend on their children. For example, if there are 2 children, and if based on the combined income of the parents, $50,000 annually is spent on the 2 children, and if the father has 40% of the combined income and the mother 60%, and if the father is to pay child support, he would pay 40% of the $50,000 or $20,000 annually. Now, in many cases, you have females that make more money than the man. For whatever reason, the dude can't get a job, or it's hard for him to find a job, aka incarceration, drug dealer, whatever. Okay, he can't find a job, or he's got a street job. All right, but the woman has a job. Right, so you have to now be very selective on the men you choose to lay down and have babies with. Because if you're with a bum that's not working and don't work or can't work, then guess who's going to be paying the most of the child support payments? You. Likewise, if the dude is making more money than the females, it's the same way. Now, it also, I saw in another article, it also states that if you willingly decide to quit your job or willingly take less than what you're able to do, then that would also affect you when paying child support. So it's not like you could quit your job and think that by you quitting that it's going to make things better on you. It just may make things a little worse. All right? It says there is unfortunately no time limit on the Illinois Department of Health Care and Family Services to create these guidelines and tables. However, the law takes effect July 1st, 2017, and the current law is stricken as of that date. In other words, it's done. Therefore, if the tables and guidelines are not ready, unless the legislator does something, there will be no law concerning child support that can be enforced. Wow, interesting. But anyway, that's where I'm going to stop right there, okay? But you guys can go back and read that for yourself. I'm going to put it on the bottom, right? Let's see. This is interesting because I read some other articles regarding this, and now both parents are being made or held responsible for child support. So now you have Donald Trump that's changing the food stamp reform, well, actually, it's going to be Donald Trump's food stamp reform, would close the trap of dependency. Now they're not only taking away, see this basket of food, they taking away your food, right? And they putting you in a position where you have to go to work. And then when you go to work, here it is, the child support. They're going to make the woman, see, now think about it. Dudes are already paying child support. So black females can't say this is the way of making black men take care of their kids. No, this is making you take care of your kids, because men have always been paying child support, whether they did it or not, right? Or they were locked up, or their driver's license were taken, you know, just foolishness like that. So now things are starting to change. This is starting in Illinois, and it's going to spread throughout the country. So the person that's really going to be benefited from this is the man, all right? Because now all of this weight and pressure is being lifted off of men. And not only that, it's giving men the opportunity, more opportunity, to see their children. Because see, the way things are set up now is like, if the man is paying child support, it's coming out of his check, right? And he spent time with his kids, and he's still buying Pampers and clothes and food and milk, even while the child is with him, right? Recreation, whatever, right? That's not deducted, because people were thinking like, well, that's your child, right? That's your obligation anyway as a parent. But now, under this new law, what he spends on this child while the child is with him will be taken into consideration, and will take money off of what he's obligated to pay in child support. So I know this is going to upset a lot of black females, primarily black females. Now, when it comes to this food stamp reform, right? I'm going to call it reform, right? I heard so many black folks say, they were quick to say, and they always take the attention off themselves. Well, it's not just black women. More black men are on public assistance too. It's going to hurt them too. Or more white people is on public assistance. White people do it too, right? But at the end of the day, it's still going to affect you, regardless if you like it or not. So Trump's plan, hopefully, is to make these lazy folks, black and white, get up off their lazy behind and get a job. Because I know a lot of y'all are afraid of work, especially y'all that have never worked a day in your life. Or you try to work and you lose your job, you quit, whatever. Want to be on the phone all day, want to text all day, be on Facebook all day, and then get fired. Or you quit. Just to be able to collect unemployment, which they also, I believe, are going to make a change in that too. Because, of course, you have folks that's taking advantage of the unemployment thing, right? So that's going to be in the future too, right? So I just find this interesting. It's going to upset a lot of folk, especially black folk, especially black females. And like I said, I'm surprised that so many black dudes, man, come at me because of the fact that they're going to be losing too. Now, your security blanket is going to be gone, because a lot of y'all lazy dudes out there that's living off these women that's on public assistance and trying to work at the same time. Because I know you're going to have some people that's going to comment, and some of these black females are going to tell me, well, I got a job and I work, and I don't know what you're talking about. I got a job too. But you're still on public assistance, right? You're still on public assistance. So these lazy dudes are going to be forced to go to work, all right? And this is going to be so funny. I'm going to just sit back. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to laugh at these folk, man, because these dudes, man, now upset because now you're going to have to find something else, bro. That female, if she's smart, she's not going to allow you to sit up in that house and do nothing while her food stamps are being cut and she making a little bit of money on her job, and you doing nothing but playing video games and trying to pretend to be a man when there's no manhood in you at all. So feedback, tell me what you think. My new channel, I have a new channel. The new channel, I'm going to put the link also on the bottom. You guys feedback and you tell me what you think. You subscribe. Until next time, I'm fearless.